Guys and girls, what is going on? Thank you so much for joining us for this Sunday evening stream. We're going to be talking about a Zelda game that got scrapped and interesting details about that Zelda game that was never to be. We're also looking at some interesting new titles that have been revealed or leaked for the highly rumored Nintendo Direct that's happening in September, and also some bonus news stories, including how long will your Nintendo Switch OLED screen last? One YouTuber in particular put it to the test, and we'll take a look at that. And thank you guys so much for being here. Without further ado, let's go. Dr. Lava over on Twitter tweeted out, "This video has a surprise towards the end. Retro Studios also worked on a fantasy tactics style Zelda game. It was called Heroes of Hyrule. Here's some concept art." And he shared some concept art from the scrapped game that the makers of the new Metroid Prime series, you know, they're still, Retro Studios is still hard at work at Metroid Prime 4. But they had actually announced a plan, or they pitched an idea to Nintendo for a new Zelda game that was inspired by Final Fantasy Tactics. So, reading this article on Nintendo Life, Metroid Prime developer Retro Studios pitched a Zelda game called Heroes of Hyrule. Retro Studios is currently developing the next Metroid Prime game, but there was a time in its history when it was apparently working on a Legend of Zelda pitch that was codenamed Project X. The game was styled like Final Fantasy Tactics and sounding a little bit like Breath of the Wild. It would have focused on three heroes, a Goron, Zora, and Rito, who lived 100 years in the past and set out to rescue Link. Time passes and Link would then be an old man who ran an antiquities shop. Old man Link, I would have loved to see that. The source featured some concept artwork alongside this surprise in its post, and that post that we just looked at there by Dr. Lava. This is the story timeline. Ganon captures Princess Zelda. Link sets out to rescue Zelda, but Ganon forces ambush on Link and they capture him. Three of Link's friends, a Goron, a Rito, and a Zora, set out to rescue him. After many adventures, the three heroes defeat Ganon. Ganon retreats into a magical spellbook that is the source of his power, and it would have been called the Book of Ganon. Link takes the Book of Ganon into safekeeping, and the heroes remove many pages of the book and hide them to prevent Ganon's return. 100 years pass. Link is now an old man and owns an antiquities shop, and as you can see, it looks like it's a highly redacted story. So what is behind those redacted sections of the timeline? Very interesting, very interesting. So there you have it, you guys, the Zelda game that was not to be. Nintendo is reiterating the fact that Splatoon 3's Salmon Run mode will be available 24/7. That's right, ladies and gents. No need to be waiting for a specific event to turn up. Salmon Run will be playable 24/7. Two other games that we've been looking at that might get announced is Skyrim Anniversary Edition, which was recently rated for the Nintendo Switch. Not only that one, but the popular multiplayer game It Takes Two. Really cool game to play with like a significant other, but not only that, with friends also. I played through it with a good friend of mine and we had the time of our life. It was a really fun game, It Takes Two, but it looks like it's coming to the Switch so that you can play the game on the go. So that's gonna be there's a YouTuber named Bob Wolf put his Nintendo Switch OLED. He started putting his Nintendo Switch OLED to the test as he left the console running for 3,600 hours. He left it running for 3,600 hours, and we are pleased to say that Bob Wolf's experiment over on YouTube channel has continued, with the console now racking up an astonishing 7,000 hours of continuous screen time, demonstrating the effects of such a display marathon. Wolf has shown us that while the burn-in from his last update remains in place, the console is far from giving up yet. In fact, the pixel shadow has been such a small issue that it is only visible on very light or very dark screens. Wolf's Switch OLED has remained on the same image of a Breath of the Wild shrine for around 10 months now, with the pixel burn-in only happening in areas which display extremely bright lights. If you guys are interested in following Bob Wolf's experiment, I'll leave the link to his YouTube channel in the description. But he's reached 7,000 hours, and his Nintendo Switch OLED is still alive and kicking. So that's good to hear. That's very good to hear. In case anyone had any doubts about the Nintendo Switch OLED screen, what if we had a Game & Watch Pokemon? This is only concept art, but I was thinking this would actually be a really amazing idea. We got it for The Legend of Zelda, and it would be so cool to have one for the Pokemon games. That could have, he was saying it'd be cool if they have 4 games in it, like Pokemon Yellow version, Crystal version, the little Game & Watch mini game, and also the Pokemon mini game collection. But I would be so down to buy one of these if this ever became a reality. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate y'all. And until we see you next time, guys, stay safe, stay awesome. You're cool. We'll see you later, guys.